Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and it's time for Braylon and the Jets 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Oh,
yes,
God.
I read that today.
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
No.
This is Up from the Underground presents Football Week 15, and before we get into the news topics of the week, I'll introduce the panelists as usual. He believes that his memoirs can possibly be a New York Times bestseller, Captain Shenanigans.
Hey, yes I do.
And the man who believes that everybody out there reads, here's the Notorious Mr. Beagle.
That is so old.
So, well, that's why I'm here. One of the few things that I have to bring to the table first is, of course, not on one of the prettiest sides, but 7 days after the suicide of Belcher, we had another unfortunate event on the Dallas Cowboys. I had heard this many times. Do you guys feel that they really need to change the rules in the game for penalties and possibly fines when it comes to drunk driving in professional sports?
Not so much for drunk driving, because here's what's going to happen. He's out on bond. He actually attended the funeral, and he asked to sit with the victim's family. What's going to happen now is he's going to be suspended for the rest of the year, most likely.
Probably.
He's not going to get pay for those days, and then he will be subject to the full extent of the law. Intoxicated manslaughter.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that carries 7 or 8 years in jail.
That's a hefty thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be he's going to be another NFL player that serves times in jail.
All right, let me explain this. I don't think it's the NFL's business to suspend. I think it's the individual team's business, because it's more of an individual matter rather than a league-wide matter.
What upsets me the most is the fact that we always know that this specific thing is a terrible thing, drunk driving. You shouldn't even be driving when you intend on going to drink. I believe it was Michael Kay this week that said, when you officially realize that you are driving to the bar to go get drunk with your friends, you have officially made the stupidest decision of your life. On a lighter note, let's talk about the craziness that is the NFL.
The end of Bountygate.
Yeah, Tagliabue officially put it to rest.
Yep.
Yeah, he exonerated all
Now,
of them.
I kind of like this, because this gives us an interesting opportunity. Here we have a chance to impose sanctions on a team instead of a player. Because Tagliabue ruled that it was the team's lack of discipline and lack of organization that allowed this to happen.
Led to the players straying off the path.
So, and also, the organization's lack of policing them.
Correct.
So here's what I think should happen. I agree that all the players' suspensions should be nullified. I agree that the Saints should be penalized. They should pull a page out of the BCS book. In 2013, hey, the New Orleans Saints, they went 14-2. Sorry, no playoffs for you.
Oh, man.
That would definitely rock the world of sports as far as from the professional standpoint.
It would make a statement to the team and to the other teams, and it would make a statement and set the tone for the rest of professional sports, saying we're not going to tolerate this anymore.
Or maybe instead of that, do what they did to the USC Trojans. Say, any championships you won automatically go to the second place guys now.
Maybe
that's kind of dumb, because if they play in the Super Bowl, then the trophy goes to the Super Bowl losers. They should be banned from the playoffs, just like Ohio State and Penn State were banned from bowl games, even though even though both of them deserve to be in the Big Ten championship game. Ended up being Wisconsin facing Nebraska, and Wisconsin actually won. That's the funny part.
Figure.
Well, anything that can possibly knock the hockey lockout out and put it back into commission, then that's all I really care about.
47% of all games have been canceled.
They're
canceled until December 30th now.
Yep.
And they're still basically forcing the powers that be to get back into the conference room and start making a freaking deal. You know what? Fire Betterment.
Yeah.
He's officially ruined that. But this is not hockey. This is football.
Exactly.
Football!
Again, let's not turn this into a PSA. Let's stick to the feetballs.
Playoffs are not exactly what they seem.
What? Playoffs? What are you talking about? Playoffs? Playoffs?
Man, this is just practice.
Teams that seem to be real are not as real as they may seem. Teams that are looking strong are suddenly starting to look quite weak. And suddenly, everybody except for 4 teams right now have a shot at playoffs.
Yeah.
3 of those teams are in the AFC. Which is strange if you consider how wide open the AFC is.
The AFC, especially with the Texans losing to the Patriots.
Yeah, which I'm so upset about.
That was unbelievable.
I'm so upset about
I'm actually very happy about that. Even though I lost that pick, I picked the Patriots to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. Oof. And
He did.
I mean, look at the way they're playing.
I did?
Yes, you did. Man. You want me to reiterate those? Come playoff time, I'll reiterate.
Now I'm kind of regretting it, because it just seems...
Yeah, I can't stand them. Ugh. Anyway, before we go into the rest of the program, what do we always do at this point in time? Station identification, Captain?
No, that's right. It's up to me. You're captain. And fans, you're already paying attention, so you obviously know what's going on here. But I guess if you've stumbled upon our little page, that's all graphic-y and nice, you're on Football Goulash.
This week is week 2 of our two-a-days, and we're going to be talking about the AFC and NFC East. Why? Because before you know it, this just got real.
The Patriots, of course, you can bet your last dollar, are going to win the division.
Unfortunately, no other team from this division is going to make the playoffs except for the Patriots.
There's no competition.
The Dolphins, let's see how they play.
The Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins, they're not bad teams. They're not weak teams, including the Jets.
And the Bills, when they're healthy, they can play.
Hey, guess what, everybody who lives in New York? The circus is in town. Go get your popcorn and enjoy the clowns.
I hate clowns.
The Jets will get the front page of the sports section, but the Giants will win the games.
Giants will win the division, but it will be super close.
I'll definitely agree with you guys that the Giants will make the playoffs, but they will not win the NFC East.
The Eagles they have tons of potential.
This is not going to be the same team that we saw last year, unless Michael Vick gets hurt.
The Eagles are going to show us the exact same thing they showed us last year. No chemistry, no camaraderie, and they're going to get prone.
The Redskins and the Cowboys, that's tougher than one may think.
RG3 is the guy that's going to show me something.
And RG3 is going to be exactly what Cam Newton was last year, a highlight reel, but a 4-12 team.
Cowboys have been the perennial, we have all the potential and none of the accolades to go with it.
Romo is an elite quarterback. You say you don't know what people see in Romo? I'll tell you what I see in Romo. I see a guy with incredible skills who, until this season, hasn't had a chance to gel with his team.
Mr. Beagle has told us that he thinks the Cowboys are going to win the division. If they do, on live YouTube, I will eat my shoe. I promise you right now.
The Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, and Bills, and the Giants, Cowboys, Redskins, and Eagles. It is so crazy to believe that all of these teams, mathematically still in it,
playoffs, yeah.
All of us were right about the Patriots, except for Mr. Beagle here. Captain and I picked the Giants to take the NFC East.
Yes.
But are the Giants the team that are going to take it? I don't know.
Well, now that RG3 is injured and out for
He's not out.
He's not out.
He's not out?
He is not out.
They say he dodged a bullet.
He sprained it. He sprained it. But are they going to put him back in on
Sunday? We'll talk about that later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But can the Cowboys take the NFC East?
Nope.
Yes, they can.
No, they can.
Can the Redskins do it? Yes, they can.
Here's the interesting part.
Even the Eagles.
Here's the interesting part. The Redskins have the tiebreaker over the Giants and the Cowboys, but the Cowboys have the tiebreaker over the Giants.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Now let's talk about one team that we didn't really focus upon being so great, much like the Colts because of the same thing, the rookie quarterback. Did you guys expect the Redskins to be as entertaining and as good as they ended up looking?
No. Entertaining, yes. Good, almost. I pictured them an 8-18, quite honestly. Because I'd seen RG3, I'd seen Alfred Morris, and they still have one of the more formidable linebacking core in the league.
They do.
Mr. Beagle,
back
you definitely got the Eagles on point. They literally went nowhere fast.
I knew it was going to be a repeat.
Yeah, that one was going to... Let's just say I saw it coming.
It's just so impossible to realize that when you have so much raw talent on your team, how this team just never seems to click.
Portland Trailblazers.
No. There's the key word. Team. They were individual players who were good, but they don't play as a team.
The New York Knicks of 2 years ago.
Yeah. They had good players, but they didn't play well together as a team. And in football, you're either part of the steamroller or part of the pavement.
Wow, well said.
I like that.
I really like that.
Yeah, right.
Now, as far as the AFC, I actually thought that the Jets were going to be in last place. I did get the clown aspect and the circus aspect of it on point, but I'm actually very excited that Braylon is back. I think it's going to instill a little bit of confidence in Sanchez, because it's basically like an old friend moving back to the neighborhood. He's a guy who I know.
Who he's familiar with and had a rapport with very well for those 2 seasons.
No, I don't like it.
Because?
It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot.
Yeah, but at least it stops the bleeding a little bit.
No, it doesn't, because the wide receiving core is not the problem. The only reason they did it is because Stephen Hill is out.
It's true.
That is true.
That's the only reason. They could have gone out and signed John Hall as a receiver.
But what are they going to do for however many games
The problem is not the receiving core. The problem, believe it or not, even though Mike Westhoff is there, has been special teams.
They've been very special.
And the problem is just the overall team attitude that, just a little bit is good enough.
And that you're absolutely right.
Adding a veteran receiver doesn't do anything except put another body out there. Sanchez still won't hit him that much.
I think you'll have more of a better shot at getting the ball where it needs to be with Edwards, just because they know how to play the game together. They've done it for 2 years.
I will say this: Edwards gives them a deep threat that the Jets haven't had since
the beginning of the year.
Well, the last time Edwards was on the team.
He was one of those few players I didn't understand why the Jets let go. I had a feeling that he was someone that Sanchez enjoyed using.
That's what I thought.
They wanted to make room because they had just signed Plaxico Burress,
which was a mistake.
Yeah.
Which was a mistake, and now that he's back on the Steelers, he still hasn't done anything.
Well, the Steelers are another topic for later on.
Yeah.
And
but again.
Now, as far as that comment that cut him from the Seahawks, did you guys think that was very funny how he ended up on the team a week later?
I wouldn't say it's one of those, weird coincidences. But
I liked how he backed Sanchez, though.
Yeah. You know what the thing is that Sanchez has been regressing every year he's been in the league. And that's the problem.
I think he was better a second year.
Yeah, I thought he was better.
I just think he was the recipient of having a better O-line and better receivers back then, which he does not have right now. Mangold and Ferguson, the only 2 players that are really playing on that O-line. Otherwise, they're not as strong as they were 2 years ago.
Well, you know something? I'll basically say what Rex Ryan is saying. Every single game is the playoffs, so let's see how they feat. All they got to do is keep winning and just hope for the best on all the other sides of the coin.
They have to win out.
Yeah.
The Bengals have to lose at least 1 game, and the Steelers have to lose at least 2 games.
I mean, nothing could have gone more right in the Jets' favor last weekend.
Yeah, that's very true.
I did not expect to see the Steelers and the Bengals go down. That was a shock.
The Bengals one was very surprised. Any given Sunday.
And you said it last week.
Exactly
you said it last week, Mr. Beagle.
I knew I was walking into certain destruction with my picks.
And yet we did it anyway. Which says something about us.
Oh, we're Frodo, Sam, and Pip and
Like, did we expect what happened to Atlanta to happen out of all teams like Carolina?
Well, actually, the thing is, the Falcons have been the worst, best team in the NFL.
I saw a great quote about the Falcons. They were in their playoff mode.
We'll talk about them later, too.
Yeah.
Anyway, as far as I know, what do you guys think about the Patriots, since they're the one team in these 2 Eastern divisions that have actually clinched a playoff spot? Do you think they can actually get back to the Super Bowl this year?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Because I guarantee you, that matchup we saw, the Texans and the Patriots, that will not be the AFC Championship game. Texas will go down in either the wild card round or the divisional round.
I think they're going down in the second. Yeah. I think the Broncos are going to face the Patriots.
I think it'll be Broncos.
I think the Broncos are going to be the AFC's representatives in the Super Bowl.
I
honestly believe it.
I think the Broncos are the strongest team in the AFC right now, not the Patriots.
Well,
the Patriots don't have a defense.
They don't. If the Patriots make the Super Bowl, I guarantee you they'll be facing the Giants again. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to happen. And this year, I will root for the Giants.
Oh boy!
But I want one of the following 2 scenarios. I want either Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, or
that won't happen.
I would love Manning versus Manning.
That would be amazing. It's
Ooh.
never happened in a Super Bowl before.
How often do two brothers play in the same league?
I would love Manning versus
more
Manning.
often than you think.
You want to talk about the greatest game ever played? You can't get more amazing than Manning versus Manning. This is a big question. if it ended up being the Broncos versus the Giants,
who would I root for? I'd root for the hometown Giants.
I would root for the Broncos just because I am a huge Peyton Manning supporter.
I love both Manning.
Despite the fact that it's a 3XL, which means that he can't fit into it anymore because he's too big, but it's huge on me, I would borrow Aris's tuck jersey.
Oh, all right.
I would root for Peyton. I just want him to win another Super Bowl.
It would be one of those where I would root for the hometown Giants, but I really wouldn't mind if either team would win. Because it's a victory for the fans.
Right.
That would honestly be a fan's Super Bowl.
Well, here's the problem. The biggest problem in that scenario is Archie Manning, because if Peyton Manning wins, then the kids are tied 2 Super Bowls each.
I'd rather have that than 3 against 1. They would have the exact same amount of Super Bowls that they would have competed in.
We're still in Week 15, so...
Yeah, hey, all right.
Let's go over with the scores. Captain Shenanigans got the belt again. The tallies are 24, 81, and 1 for Captain Shenanigans. We got the Notorious Mr. Beagle very close. 123, 82, and 1. And me never getting to the belt. 117, 88, and 1. Let's go to the Thursday night game. Cincinnati Bengals versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm picking the Bengals.
I'm going to go with the Bengals on this one.
Really?
Yes, because... very, very quick reason.
Yeah,
just despite the Eagles win, Bengals are actually a better road team than they are a home team.
That's correct. I think the Eagles won last week out of circumstance, and Nick Foles is not their quarterback of the future.
Interesting.
End of story. I don't think they...
All the pontiffs say differently.
Yeah, well, they're allowed to.
I guess I'm going to go with the Bengals, too, because I just don't know if the Eagles are going to be able to scrape out another win.
Yeah, I don't find it likely.
Okay, the next game is going to be the New York Giants versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh, no kidding. All right.
This is a real moment of truth for these two teams. How good, really, are each of these teams? We see signs of greatness, and we see all kerfumble flippy-flop. We don't really know what we really get from these two teams. This game is going to be a real moment for each. And I actually believe, even though it's in the Dome, the Giants are going to win.
Wow. I was actually going to pick the Giants. Because I think right now, they really want to win more than the Falcons. The Falcons basically have their division locked up. You know, they
want the number 1, though.
They want the number 1, but they don't want it as much as the Giants want to win that division already.
It's too close.
So, I'm going to pick the Giants because they want it more.
Wanting something more... Man, I want $1 million more than most people, but you don't see me getting it.
Wanting can only get you so far.
Does that mean you're picking the Falcons?
That means I'm picking the Falcons.
All right, you're allowed to.
The Giants' motor has got to stop sometime, and they have to make it interesting, otherwise they're not the Giants.
You know he just wants the Cowboys to win the East.
Yeah, I know. I know.
The Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears.
This is going to be ugly.
Yeah, very.
It's going to be...
Especially in Soldier Field.
This is going to be a slugfest.
Yeah.
Between
Nobody knows what is going on with Jay Cutler.
No.
He has concussion-like symptoms, but that doesn't mean anything because he's Jay Cutler.
And the defense, without Urlacher, the defense isn't led very well. Briggs is slowing up. Tillman isn't 100%. I got to go with Green Bay on this one. They're the hot team. Even that I lost to the Giants, gave them a bloody nose. It's still bleeding a little bit, despite the win against Detroit, which, by the way, was extremely poetic in the snow.
Yeah, that was quite the classic game.
Yes, they have more offensive weapons that can beat the Bears secondary.
Captain?
I was going to say the Packers right off the bat because, again, like Mr. Beagle said, they're hot. The Packers are on a roll, and it's almost impossible to stop them.
I feel really bad for the Bears because they were looking so good. But it seems to happen so much to these guys. They look so great. They're a complete package, and then all of a sudden it just keeps fizzling. I feel horrible that Urlacher is probably done with his career at this point in time. One of the few people that deserved a Super Bowl ring more than anyone else. But this is going to be a game of epic proportions, and the Packers are going to show the Bears that they are the kings of the NFC North.
That's another guy on my list of guys that should have won a Super Bowl but never got the chance to.
The Washington Redskins versus the Cleveland Browns.
Ugh. I don't know about this one.
Well, here's
what
I
Browns
think.
have been looking good recently. Is RG3 going to be playing Sunday?
Yes. I think they shouldn't put him in. Because if they do in fact have that chance to get to the playoffs, they want him as healthy as they want. I mean, don't do what your baseball team did and take Strasburg out too early. And don't ever actually let him use him for the postseason. I feel that this would be a perfect game for them to rest him. Because I believe that Cousins can still get the job done.
I agree with 90% of what you said. I don't think Cousins can do it, though. I think they should rest him, but are they? No, because right now, this is a right now team, despite all the evidence to the contrary. I'm going to pick the Redskins, because the Redskins secondary is going to give the Browns fits in this game, so...
I'm going with the Poops.
You're going with the Cleveland Poops, huh? Man,
I'm going with the Browns, because if RG3 plays, he's not going to be running all that much, and will be forced to hand the ball off to Alfred Morris, and they'll have to run a conventional offense. And if Kirk Cousins plays, guess what? He's almost as much of a statue as Drew Bledsoe is in the pocket. And the Cleveland defense will eat them alive.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
I don't. I feel that no matter which quarterback starts, I really think the Redskins have this victory.
I'm still going with the Browns.
The Minnesota Vikings against the St. Louis Rams. Wow. Suddenly this game looks pretty interesting.
You know what? I got the feeling that last week the Vikings won mainly because it was everyone on the Vikings watching Adrian Peterson do stuff.
I agree.
And that's pretty much the key to winning for the Vikings at this point.
Yeah.
I think the Rams won by a huge fluke in Buffalo. I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I'm going with the Rams.
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yes.
Something.
And I'm not thinking about this right now. I actually made the picks prior.
You actually made the pick prior. Okay.
And I took a picture of my picks just to be sure. And the Rams, have a very good record at home against tough teams.
It doesn't mean anything this season.
They have a very, believe it or not, they have the 9th ranked defense in the NFL.
That's incredible.
And they're number 2 against the run. And if they stop Adrian Peterson, all you have left is Christian Ponder.
Ugh.
Exactly.
You want to know what's really funny? You're not the only one who was picking the Rams.
Also?
I was picking the Rams because of the fact that they are just showing me something I never would have expected. They're in playoff contention right now. I feel the only reason why the Vikings won that game last week was just because the Bears lost that game. The Vikings did not win it.
Neither one of these teams will make the playoffs, however.
Nope.
But as far as I'm concerned, I see the Rams pulling off another win. Comment, like, and subscribe, and at this point in time, we're going to pull away from the picks and do a little get on the boat and get off the goat, because this guy definitely looks like he's up for ranting. Ranting Beagle, you got the floor.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever the hell you are. Who'd expected that? I'm big on Dallas, and I didn't even expect that. Just very, very well-played games, and the teams finally, too little too late, though, figured out how to beat other teams. And the GOAT goes to Ken Wisenhunt, who actually wants to keep his job.
Yeah, he's not doing a very good job.
Yeah, and it's been, pretty much bad luck and injuries that have sunk the Cardinals, who, after winning 4 in a row, have lost 9 straight. Amazing the streaks. While, comparison, the Broncos have won 8 straight.
8 straight, yeah. The Eagles just stopped theirs of 8 losing.
Just imagine that the losing 9 weeks in a row. That's over 2 months.
Yeah, that's 70. That's over 70 days.
Yeah.
When you really think about it.
Mr. Beagle, what is your stat of the week?
This week's stat of the week. I don't remember the school name specifically because it's long, but there is a college out there that has won their division and is playing in I believe it's an FCS bowl.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they're Division 1AA.
Okay.
Okay.
They have not punted all year.
So they've scored on every possession.
Nope.
No?
They've just went for it on every single fourth down.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Do you want to know what their success rate is?
Crazy. I want to say like 75% at least?
Very close.
No kidding.
72%.
Ooh.
Attention NFL teams. You may want to go for it more often.
Yeah, hey, try it.
They went for it on 4th and 10 on their own 2-yard line.
Oh, and let me guess, they got it.
It was an incomplete pass, and the other team scored a touchdown. Anyway, I am Mr. Beagle, and that was Get on the Boat, Get off the Goat.
Thank you very much. Let's continue with the picks, guys. The Jacksonville Jaguars against the Miami Dolphins.
This is my toilet bowl of the week.
Really?
This is definitely my toilet bowl of the week.
Not Chiefs Raiders.
Yeah, seriously, not even Chiefs Raiders, because that's so bad, it's actually entertaining. That's
win.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be so bad, it's going to be entertaining. This is just going to be very bad. Unless you're a Jaguars or a Dolphins fan, and hi to all 4 of you, yeah, this is going to be crap. I'm going to pick the Jaguars, because I think they're less bad than the Dolphins.
The record says otherwise.
It's true.
Their record says otherwise, but I think the Jaguars can squeak out another week.
Even though they didn't win last week against the Jets, the Jaguars have been showing many signs of promise in these past 4 weeks.
They've been putting up a fight.
This is one of those games that you put very well, Captain, a couple of weeks ago. These teams just want to win one more game.
One more game. Just one.
Interesting stat about this game is that if Miami Dolphins lose,
correct,
it'll be their 4th consecutive losing season.
Oh, wow.
Which has never happened in their history.
Wow.
They've never won... Wow.
They never had 4 consecutive losing seasons.
You know what else is funny? Is that the Patriots have won the AFC East 9 out of the last 10 times.
The only time
was the Dolphins.
And the last time the Patriots lost at home in December was an 0-2 against the Jets.
Oh, my goodness. That's right. Man, I graduated.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to want to start with this one. I really feel so bad for Drew Brees, especially after that performance that he had to play in New York. I mean, the Buccaneers, I don't even know what to think about right now. I mean, they were looking so good, and then all of a sudden they just kept faltering ever so slightly every single week. But I guess if I were to pick a winner in this game, I may in fact have to go with the Saints just because even it is a division game, and they are at home, and when it comes to people who say that home court advantage is somewhat dead, this is one of the few places where it still is very much alive. Saints.
I was going to agree with you right there. Both of these teams are in a free fall right now. But the Saints do have the advantage of playing in New Orleans this time around. And I think Drew Brees is going to work his butt off this entire week to reestablish a rapport with his running backs and his wide receivers. I'm giving this one to the Saints.
I'm also going with the Saints. When you lose to Nick Foles and the Eagles, you're not really going anywhere.
That was pretty sad.
The Denver Broncos against the Baltimore Ravens.
Damn right.
Explain.
All right. This one's going to be interesting because not only does this have playoff implications for both teams, all right, this is going to prove whether one team is real or not, in my opinion. Because a lot of people, even though the Broncos are running away with the AFC West, you can argue that is the AFC West even a real division? You know, at least with the Ravens, they have problems. They need to address them ASAP. But they also have to contend with the Steelers and the Bengals. That's a tough division to win.
Even the Browns,
you know, and even the Browns are kind of still in it, believe it or not. That's a tough division. I think the Broncos are going to go into Baltimore and they're going to win because Peyton Manning.
And that's the same reason why I'm picking the Broncos, because Peyton Manning, I will constantly tote, he is the best quarterback in the game, bar none. And Flacco is showing huge signs of faltering right now. And even though that defense cannot carry, I believe it was Joe Namath who said this week, it's great to prevent points from getting on the board, but if you're doing that, you gotta score. And that Flacco's showing a lot of weakness.
It's a nugget of wisdom from an otherwise inebriated wash-up.
Broncos.
Peyton Manning. Everything's about Peyton Manning with this team. This is not going to be
about
Peyton.
It's not just about Peyton Manning. This is the defense.
This is not going to be a game about Peyton Manning. This is going to be a game about Von Miller and Elvis Somerville, and it's going to be about the run. It's going to be about the ground and pound and stopping Ray Rice, and that's why the Broncos will win.
Interesting.
So let's go to the Indianapolis Colts against the Houston Texans.
Oh, wow.
I had a feeling that was going to be
that would have been
I mean, the Texans just got humiliated on national television.
Oh my God.
I don't even want to talk about it.
So the Colts, they want to pounce, and especially in Reliance Stadium. Ooh, I'm salivating at this game. This is going to be awesome!
But
there's no buts about it.
Who wins?
Ooh.
Who wins?
Oh.
Do explain this, because I'm
Reggie
interested.
Wayne or Andre Johnson?
Oh, man.
Oh, dude, is there any
That's a rough one. That's a rough one, though. I would pick Andre Johnson over Reggie Wayne.
I would now. Oh, no.
Really?
I would, if I had a choice between the two for my team, if I was a GM, I'd pick Reggie Wayne in a heartbeat.
Because?
Because he's better, he's faster, he's in better shape, and he's got better hands, and he's more of a team player than Andre Johnson is.
Are you saying the Colts are winning?
No, I'm saying the Texans are winning.
Yeah, I actually am going to agree with you there, merely because of the fact that, yes, the Texans got humiliated. They will not let a division rival do that to them as well. It'll be a great game. Luck will have a great game, but I don't think he's going to be able to finish off the way he has been doing over the past couple of weeks. The Texans are going to keep them down.
See, the Texans are hurting real bad because they got bent over a chair by the Patriots in what could very well be, as much as I dislike it, a preview of the AFC Championship. It could be. I'm not going to say it is, but it could be. The Texans are going to take out their frustrations on the Colts, but it's going to be a closer game than people are going to realize. The Texans are going to squeak by with a win.
Comment, like, and subscribe. We're going to pull away from the picks, and the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Why? Because it's time for little lessons learned.
You got a lot of them.
That's right. Hey, I only got 5. They're longer.
Bring it!
That's right. Folks, this is your captain speaking, and of course, this is one of your 3 favorite segments. One of your 3 favorite segments, Lessons Learned. First lesson learned. Breaking news, y'all! Cam Cameron, offensive coordinator, was fired by the Ravens for failing to utilize the NFL's best quarterback. Joe Flacco says, I'm one of the top 3 quarterbacks who play in Maryland. Lesson number 2. Pack on their feet. Get it? It's a play on words. My other idea was pack to the future. Packers win a classic football game in the snow. Fun to watch. Meanwhile, the Vikings beat the Bears, but in a dome like a bunch of pansies.
And meanwhile in Japan...
Lesson number 3. RG3, unfortunately last week, sprained his knee. It was a brutal hit. You gotta YouTube that. It's actually kind of funny the way his knee sort of like bends. Anyways, is his playing style too dangerous for him to have a long career? Is there a way for a QB to play that would cause defenses to not want to crush him? No, but let's have this debate anyways after every game he plays. In other news, Andrew Luck decapitates himself to one-up RG3. Lesson number 4. Arizona's Ken Weisenhunt says, I'm jealous of the New York Jets' QB situation. Anybody? No?
Really?
Screw you guys, I'm getting a better audience. Lesson number 5. The Philadelphia Eagles, the San Diego Chargers, both win last week, terrifying fans that their coaches will now stay. Meanwhile, Pete Carroll tears his bicep from excessive fist pumping in his 58-0 win last week.
Oh, boy.
I was so angry on Sunday that I didn't think I could be funny, but apparently I got the most laughs today out of this one. So I gotta hand it to myself. Anyways, that was your captain speaking, and that, of course, was Lessons Learned.
It was your best one this season, my good friend. Let's continue with the picks and go to the Seattle Seahawks versus the Buffalo Bills.
Ugh.
I mean, After what we witnessed last week, that Seattle did to Arizona,
Spunkin'.
I don't think that they're going to be able to do what they did last week to a team like Buffalo, but will they still beat Buffalo? Yes, I think they can.
I agree with you. I'm picking Seattle.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You already wrote it in.
I think I know why.
Yeah. What do you think I was going to say?
The Seahawks?
I was going to pick the Seahawks.
Isn't that obvious?
Yeah.
No, look, any team that can keep, the rest of the AFC East down, that's all that I care about.
The Seahawks do have to travel, and yes, they're going to be outside in what possibly is going to be yet another snowstorm in Buffalo, but I think they're just going to ride it.
Well, here's an interesting one. How about the Carolina Panthers at the San Diego Chargers? I don't know who to pick, so I want to hear you two first. Mr. Beagle, can we start with you?
In the Southwest, San Diego's going to win.
I was going to pick the Chargers anyway, because they're at home, they're on a roll, they're on a huge roll right now. They're going to be hung over for the rest of the week from this win that they've just had. But the Panthers have to travel.
Pretty far.
Yeah, pretty damn far. It's going to be nice weather, which the Chargers are used to, and I don't think the Panthers can handle that.
Well, something, that I'm going to just throw the monkey wrench in the machine and
Panthers?
go the opposite way, because I just think that, Cam Newton is still Cam Newton, like you say.
Cam Newton is still Cam Newton.
And I think that he still has a lot more to show us this season. And right now, if they can get any other win under their belt this year, this is the game where they can actually do it. And I think the Panthers may, in fact, come out with a win.
I'm going to say it right now, both teams are going to score at least 30.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah. It'll be a high-scoring game.
It's going to, I don't know about great game. Like I said, both teams are going to score at least 30 each.
Mr. Beagle, I'm going to ask you to please run with this one first.
Oh,
the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm going to say it right now. I'm going with Dallas Cowboys, and this is a very good reason why. Because there's not a single player on the Pittsburgh Steelers that is at 100%. Not one. Not a single one. And if Phillip Rivers can score 34 points on the Steelers, and I think Romo is better and actually less turnover prone.
That is
true.
And
they got DeMarco Murray back.
That is true.
They have DeMarcus Ware, who's gonna go after Roethlisberger the whole time.
Oh yeah.
And Palomalu is not.
He's not
a threat really
anymore.
Ike Taylor is not a threat really because he's not 100%.
We got Dez Bryant is going to play even with
Dez Bryant will play.
So yeah.
And you know what? He may not catch anything, but he's still a threat.
He's
still
going
to draw a defender away.
Away.
Exactly right. That's why the Cowboys will win.
You couldn't see a more collapsible dynasty than the Pittsburgh Steelers right now.
I predicted it earlier this season.
And considering how strong the NFC East is looking like now, especially with how well the Cowboys have been playing lately, I actually think that this is going to be a game in which Dallas will in fact beat them. And this is going to be great for us Jets fans because I would love to see Pittsburgh lose another one.
Yes.
So I think the Cowboys will win.
Agreeing with me on this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say Cowboys because...
What?
No, in all honesty, as much as I'd not like to say it, I think the Cowboys are going to win this game.
I feel vindicated.
Yeah. Hey, just this one time, all right?
The Kansas City Chiefs against the Oakland Raiders? Who do you think is going to even win this game?
Who cares?
I know what I said earlier in the show, but I'm changing my mind.
God.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because Carson Palmer is fat.
So is Sebastian Janikowski.
He's allowed to be.
They do like a doubles trip to like KFC and they get a bucket.
There's no KFC in California.
You're ruining my joke, man. You're ruining my joke.
Just say Jack in the Box.
Fine. They go to Jack in the Box to get a bucket of chicken. Not to share. They get one for each themselves.
You know what? I'm actually going to go on your coattails and pick the Chiefs as well because I think that right now, when taking a look at these two teams side by side, I think Oakland is a little bit more of a laughing stock than Kansas City is right now.
I've felt bad for Kansas City this entire season. I have not felt bad for the Raiders because the Raiders kind of dug the hole they've been in. The Chiefs have just been, they've just been a victim of circumstance this entire year. I was gonna go with the Chiefs anyway because I think right now they're slightly less crappier than the Raiders.
If we had done the show on Saturday and that murder suicide would have happened, I would have picked the Chiefs that week.
Yeah, I think I would have too, believe it or not.
So comment, like, and subscribe. We're going to pull away from the picks and do a little hero and bust of Week 14. So we're going to always begin with hero. Now, there's so many people that we can classify this past week as hero. We could give it to Adrian Peterson, who's basically closing in on 2,000 yards. We could give it to Wilson on the New York Giants, breaking that crazy Giants record that hasn't been broken since 1963. We could even give it to the Seahawks for not ruining our days. But believe it or not, this week the hero is Kirk Cousins.
Oh boy.
Because even though RG3 did an amazing thing by basically staying on the field for 4 plays and managing to basically wait until he could officially say he's done for the day, Kirk Cousins comes in and doesn't lose a step and gives the Redskins the overtime victory. The bust of the week is actually going to be, now you've heard of the Fab Four, right?
You're talking about the Beatles?
Yes.
Okay, I've also heard about the Fab Five.
Right. Well, I'm going to be giving the bust this week to the Flop Four.
Ew.
Who are the Flop Four?
That guy in Buffalo who fell into the stands.
Ass first into the stands.
Actually, it's based on an article that I saw in the New York Times of 4 grade A quarterbacks that are suddenly looking like the world is done this year for them. Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Flacco, and Jake Cutler. These guys are all very interesting quarterbacks. Some of these guys truly are great quarterbacks. Others look like great quarterbacks only because of the team that surrounds them. But it's just amazing to see how these 4 quarterbacks who have basically been very good-looking their entire careers this year, while some of them do have the top spot in the playoffs, except for the Falcons because they have clinched, some of these last 3, the Bears, the Ravens, and the Steelers, may not even see the playoffs this year. And that'll do it for Hero and Bust. Let's go to the Sunday night game, the San Francisco 49ers at the New England Patriots. After the display that the Patriots showed against the Houston Texans, can they do it against a defense like San Francisco? I say, unfortunately, yes.
I agree. I say yes as well. I'm not actually looking into their offense versus defense. I'm looking at it the other way. Kaepernick versus the Patriots defense, because contrary to popular opinion, the Patriots do play defense. Yeah. And they're actually very good at it. Yeah. Frank Gore's not going to have much, so they're going to rely on Kaepernick, especially since it's in New England.
The 49ers have to travel all the way across the country, and they have to go, diagonally also.
Yeah, and there's no better team at home in December than the Patriots.
No.
I as much as I dislike doing it, I have to pick the Patriots on this one.
I mean, this is going to open up the NFC West if the San Francisco 49ers lose this weekend. Now, of course, there is a little bit of time left, so we may be able to talk a little bit more. Let's talk about the Monday night game. Our New York Jets against the Tennessee Titans. It's an important game for them. Is it winnable for them?
Yes.
Absolutely. Sanchez will start, of course, and now he's got Braylon to throw to, while Stephen Hill, unfortunately, may be out for the rest of the year. Probably. I feel this is a big confidence booster for him, even though the odds are stacked against him. I don't know what Johnson will do, but I actually think the Jets can pull off another win and do, as I had said to you guys earlier this year, with the last 6 games, win at least 5 out of 6.
This is just the same Mark Sanchez and the same Jets team that failed to put up a single point in the first half last week.
And still won the game.
I'm going to go with the Jets, not because I think they're going to win, but because the offensive line of the Titans is held together with, as you said, bubblegum and toothpicks.
Yeah. I think the Jets' defense is going to be the moneymaker this game. As Mr. Beagle stated, the Titans have no offensive line. The front line of the Jets is just going to run through them. So, Jets.
12 trifecta this week.
This week? Again? Seriously? Dude, we started off so well. Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for the Jets game just because of the fact that this week, if we take a look at it, we all have the Colts losing. We all have the Steelers losing.
Boosh.
As we're no more analysts, fans now.
Fans.
The Jets couldn't have a more opportune week. If they win, and the Colts and the Steelers do in fact lose, It's going to be pandemonium here
The Colts,
at this point.
the Colts actually don't have that much of an impact on the Jets.
No.
The Colts are going to get the 5 seed, and the Jets are fighting for the 6 seed.
The Jets are going to fight for the 6 seed.
The Colts, believe it or not, have the tiebreaker over the Steelers right now.
Correct, because they beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But they got
the better divisional record.
Better conference record.
Conference record. Gotcha.
All right. Well, at this point, guys, we've wrapped up Week 15. That's 2 more weeks left of the regular season. Our 2-a-day next week is, in fact, going to be the West.
Ooh, the West.
I wonder if the book about the San Francisco 49ers will be How the West Was Not Won.
Oh, boy. Might be Seahawks doing that.
They can still mathematically get the number one seed in the NFC.
That's so wacky.
And you know something? Do you think they deserve it?
Yes.
Who, what now?
Absolutely.
Could
Do you think they deserve it?
What, the Seahawks?
Yeah.
Hell no.
I knew it. No
way. They do not deserve it.
The Seahawks? Positive? This guy? No way.
No, they don't deserve a number 1 seed any more than I deserve $1 million.
Yeah, you don't deserve $1 million.
Hey.
I do. On behalf of the Notorious Mr. Beagle and Captain Shenanigans, I'm the Lawn Gnome saying farewell. We'll see you next week, and remember that actions speak louder than words. Stop veining that penis! Take this away!
Is the penis distracting you?